What if the clothes you wear, the food you eat, and the car you drive are all products of an economic system that is silently shaping our world? Yes, we're talking about capitalism. But what is capitalism really? And how has it evolved over time to become the driving force of our society? In the simplest terms, capitalism is an economic system where private entities own and control the means of production. They aim to generate profits in a market regulated by supply and demand. But this seemingly straightforward concept has a complex and rich history. The roots of capitalism trace back to the late Middle Ages in Europe, where merchant capitalism arose with the growth of trade and the creation of a merchant class. This was capitalism in its most primitive form, a system based on trade and commodity production. Fast forward to the 16th and 17th centuries, the age of mercantilism. This was a period where national identity began to take shape. Countries accumulated wealth by exporting more goods than they imported, a system that led to competition and sometimes conflict among nations. Then came the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries, a pivotal period in the evolution of capitalism. This era witnessed the birth of industrial capitalism, marked by mass production and the rise of factories. The focus shifted from trade to industry, and the capitalist class, those who owned the means of production, emerged as the new power players. In the 20th century, capitalism took another significant turn with the rise of finance capitalism. The financial industry, including banks and investment firms, began to play a dominant role in the economy. This era also saw the advent of consumer capitalism, where consumption rather than production became the key to economic growth. Fast forward to today, the 21st century, where we're living in what some might call late capitalism. This stage is characterized by the dominance of multinational corporations, the pervasiveness of consumer culture, and the growing gap between the rich and the poor. But here's a question to ponder. Is capitalism inherently selfish? Critics argue that capitalism encourages greed, widens the wealth gap, and can even be a catalyst for war and climate change. They point to the relentless pursuit of profit, often at the expense of the environment and social equity. On the other hand, proponents of capitalism argue that it fosters innovation, creates wealth and opportunities, and has been instrumental in lifting millions out of poverty. So we return to our original question. What is capitalism really? Is it a force for good, a necessary evil, or something else entirely? The answer, as with most things in life, is not black and white. Capitalism, in all its forms and stages, has been a double-edged sword. It has driven progress and prosperity, but it has also created inequality and conflict. As we enter the final weeks of 2023, take a moment to reflect on the role capitalism plays in your life. Think about how it shapes your decisions, your opportunities, and your future. And remember, the power to shape capitalism's future is, in many ways, in our hands. So question, learn, and engage. Because the future of capitalism is a story that we're all writing together.